It's not just about the event. It's not some kind of chronological telling of just that event. That could be boring, and you think, well, we read that.
20 years after The Passion of the Christ was released in theaters, Mel Gibson has announced there will be a sequel, which may or may not be an acid trip film. The religious movie from 2004 with Jim Caviezel playing Jesus Christ in his final 12 hours of life was a box office hit and received 3 Oscar nominations. But it divided some people, was criticized by religious experts, and was also charged with anti-Semitism by several groups. Here's all you need to know about The Passion of the Christ 2. Gibson made his debut as a writer, producer and director on a single movie, The Passion of the Christ, in 2004. Despite criticism from some quarters, it generated $612 million at the box office on a $30 million budget. Since June 2016, when author Randall Wallace disclosed to The Hollywood Reporter that he and Gibson were developing a script, there have been rumors that a sequel is in the works. After seeing the first script of The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, Caviezel told Breitbart in 2018 that he thought it will be the biggest film in world history.
It will be the biggest film in history. It might be 2 films.
Gibson has now openly discussed the sequel for the first time. In 2023, The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, will be released soon. Gibson revealed in an interview with Outstanding Screenplays in April, "You cannot perform it carelessly or fast. You must carefully evaluate what you must depict to be moving," he advised. He added that Caviezel would return to the role of Jesus Christ in his film. "I have 2 scripts, one of which is like an acid trip, and the other is structured, strong, and kind of what you'd anticipate, because you're entering other spheres and things. You're in hell, after all, and you're witnessing the angel's destruction," Gibson told Outstanding Screenplays. "It's like ridiculous." Gibson's reps have been contacted by Newsweek via email for additional comments.
You know, I asked him, would you be ready to go in January? He said, yeah, maybe. So how about the end of the fall? He goes, yeah, maybe. September? I said, yeah, maybe.
On the Sean Ryan Show on YouTube, Caviezel, who is also the lead in the film Sound of Freedom, recently discussed the possibility of reprising the role of Jesus Christ. Before being questioned about the potential release date of the sequel, he spoke extensively about his experience portraying the figurehead of Christianity. Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ 2 updates affirm that the movie is going to be made, but the follow-up appears to be much more divisive. The Passion of the Christ swept the globe in 2004. The movie was very popular with American evangelicals, and it was also successful in many foreign countries, thanks to the support of Christians everywhere for the R-rated epic. The Passion of the Christ, which was primarily influenced by the Gospel of John, also included several Catholic traditions, and even Anne Catherine Emmerich's 1774 to 1824 visions. Due to accusations of anti-Semitism, its release was highly divisive, which was made worse by Gibson's private scandals. The latest Passion of the Christ 2 updates confirm that official work on the sequel will start late in 2023 spring. Nearly 20 years after its predecessor, the film Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, is now in theaters. Despite this, a large portion of the main cast, including Jim Caviezel as Jesus, is returning to their original roles. According to Word of Real, Mel Gibson and Braveheart screenwriter Randall Wallace have been working together on the sequel screenplay for the past 10 years. The movie, whose screenplay has already been through 6 iterations, will detail the 3 days between Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. Release date. Unfortunately, a release date is not mentioned in the most recent Passion of the Christ 2 updates. Although no concrete release date has been set, The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection is scheduled to begin filming in the spring of 2023. Even still, it wouldn't be unexpected if Gibson sets his sights on Easter 2024, which will mark the 20th anniversary of the debut of the original movie. Furthermore, IMDb lists a 2024 release window for the movie, but this is subject to change. Hopefully, additional information about The Passion of the Christ 2 will be available soon. Cast. The news that Jim Caviezel will likely reprise his role as Jesus is one of the most significant Passion of the Christ 2 updates. One of his well-known roles was in the first movie. Since then, he has been in a variety of movies and TV shows such as Outlander, The Prisoner, and Person of Interest. In Paul, Apostle of Christ, he made a comeback to the world of biblical epics by portraying the Apostle Luke alongside James Faulkner's Paul. He openly discussed the script as far back as 2020, demonstrating that he has been kept informed of negotiations about the Passion of the Christ resurrection. The cast of the 20-year-old movie sequel, Passion of the Christ 2, has a surprisingly large number of actors returning, according to updates on the project. According to rumors, Maya Morgenstern from The Seventh Room will return to reprise her crucial part as Mary, Jesus' mother. One of the most well-known of Jesus' apostles, Peter, will once again be portrayed by the man from U.N.C.L.E. actor Francesco De Vito. Last but not least, it is rumored that Christo Gikov from In Memory of Me would return to the part of John, upon whose gospel Passion of the Christ was based. Whether Monica Bellucci or Rosalinda Celentano will reprise their roles as Magdalene and Satan, respectively, is uncertain. Anticipated story of the coming film. Christians believe that Jesus died and rose from the dead, and the Passion of Christ ended with the tiniest glimpse of the resurrected Jesus. According to Passion of the Christ 2 updates, the sequel will be called The Passion of the Christ Resurrection. The 3 days between Jesus' death and resurrection, when many Christians believe Jesus fell into hell, will be the main subject of the movie, according to persistent reports over the years, not the resurrection itself. Many of the scenes in The Passion of the Christ weren't taken directly from the Bible. Some scenes were inspired by Catholic visionaries like Anne Catherine Emmerich and Mary of Jesus of Greda, 1602 to 1665. The latter is particularly significant because she saw what Catholic theologians refer to as the harrowing of hell, an event in which Jesus descended into hell and tore down its barriers to declare war on the devil and his realm. It's crucial to remember that just a few verses in the Bible explicitly mention such events, hence this particular notion has caused controversy among Christians. If Gibson decides to concentrate on the harrowing of hell, he might have a much harder difficulty getting evangelicals to support him this time. Trailer. Unfortunately, a trailer is not part of the Passion of the Christ 2 updates. The movie appears to be aiming for a 2024 release date, although filming on the sequel has just begun. Therefore, it's likely that at least a few first looks and behind-the-scenes pictures will be released as soon as possible. In any case, Passion of the Christ 2 moviegoers shouldn't anticipate seeing a trailer or teaser before shooting is finished, and they may have to wait until 2024 to see an official trailer. So that's it, guys. What do you think of the sequel? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, subscribe to our channel.